Good evening. Come on in. Good evening. Good evening. Come on in. Come on in, y'all. Go ahead and tag someone. Invite your mama, your cousins, your grandma, whomever. Even if they don't come on now, they can come on after the fact. These niggas, they can come after the fact. Good evening and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How many of y'all remember this old song? It's time. It's so fitting for the nuggets I'm gonna drop on tonight. So fitting. So go ahead and tag someone, tag individuals, have them to come on. I hope you guys have been doing well. I hope that you have been um doing well. I hope you've been preparing. I hope you guys are ready for the holidays and making the best of what is. But come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Wisdom Wednesday, y'all. And we definitely can do it. We gotta go through it, y'all. Test of our faith. Listen, it's a test of our faith. Everything that we may be going through is a test of our faith. Do you hear me? But at the end of the day, listen, it's time for us to make a change. And we're the only ones that can do it. We're the only ones that can do it. Oh, do you hear me? Y'all need to listen to that song. It's an old song. All of us have our ups and downs. Listen. Listen to the words to this old song. Go back and listen to the words of this song. It was so fitting. But I'm going to go ahead and start because I got some other things I need to do to attend to. But I will say this. Listen, first of all, welcome to those of you who are coming in. Hey, y'all. Hey. It seemed like it's been a while, but it actually hasn't. But hey, how are you guys doing? But let me tell you. So I was minding my own business, doing the things some things that I need to do, completing some tasks and preparing for, doing things for work, and then thinking about God, what is it that you would have me to bring to your people on tonight when it comes to Wisdom Wednesday? Because let me tell you something. These segments that I do, I just don't do them because I ain't got nothing else to do. I just don't do these segments to be a time filler. Listen, these segments are these things that I do, that I'm doing, that I come and be before. I've been doing these things for these Wisdom Wednesday segments for about 4 years. And when I tell you, I have met a lot of people through online. I have different people that I've never encountered, but that may have watched or come across these videos that I have for Wisdom Wednesdays, the ones that are the previous ones that I have. And also, if you're not tapped into my YouTube channel, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel for Renovating Lives. Go and subscribe. You can find a number of videos, past videos, that one day you may need some words of encouragement. You may need to get out of a funk that you may be in, and you can just go back and you can look and go and look at those videos. They're on my YouTube channel. But I want to tell you, I want to say this, because I was doing things and I was like, Lord, okay, what am I going to talk about today? Because I really been from traveling, from work, from different things. I really, y'all, was like, you know what? I'm tired. And every day, a lot of things that I do, besides what I do for my career, is I'm always pouring and encouraging or coaching or mentoring or whatever the case may be. And sometimes Listen, your girl outside of the personal, my personal life, my family, this I be tired. But he just would not let me be today. So I'm like, Lord, okay, what is it that you want me to bring before for Wisdom Wednesday on tonight? What is it? And so I'm gonna tell you this, because one thing about it, these Wisdom Wednesdays are strategic, they are intentional, they are just small segments that I come to bring certain, words of encouragement, words of correction, instruction, whatever it, however it fixes your door, well, however it lands on your doorstep. But I just don't have, I'm not doing this by happenstance, okay? So I wanted to, so I was just doing what I was doing, working and doing things. And clearly, I heard him say, it's time to make a change. It's time for change. As soon as he said that, that song, the old song popped in my head. And I said, God, listen, I'm going to tell you something. We are focused as a people of everything was everything that's going on in this world, everything that's going on in the environment, everything, the climate is so heavy. People are really going through. Do you understand? Then you have those ones who act like ain't nothing going on in the world. They paying attention to drama, paying attention to trying to um wreak havoc, doing mischievous things, thinking, taking life for granted, not realizing that, listen, we on borrowed time. We on borrowed time. This time that we have is not our time. We on borrowed time, and people are leaving away from here very quickly. Do you understand? Listen, some suddenly. Do you understand? Some, I mean, it's not always before you can, people have some age on them. Now people are leaving. There's some young people, they're middle-aged people, they're older people. Listen, we're on borrowed time. Do you know? And some people are not focusing on prioritizing things. There's some things that matter. They're still dramified. They're still in mess. They still, wishing bad on their neighbors. They still got hate in their heart. They still worried about trying to keep up with the Joneses. They still mismanaging money. They still not working in their purpose. They still don't know who they are. They still got a stinking thinking. They still talking ruthless and reckless out of their mouth. They're still hating their brother. They're still hating their sister. They're still doing things. And listen, clearly, it's time for a change. In order for us to get something new, you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to do something different. Because if you don't do nothing different, the results that you will get will be the same. And it's time out for continuing to go and follow those same cycles. Why are you paying attention and worried about what's going on somebody else's doorstep, what's going on in somebody else's household, what's going on in somebody else's mind? And when you need to be attentive to what's going on in your surroundings, what's going on that's going to affect you, what's going on that's going to affect not just your fall, but even more. Do you understand? It's time out for us to continue that we got so much time ahead of us and we don't. Do you understand? It's time for you to change some things. If you are in the same place that you was last year, if you're talking the same way as you was last year, that is not God. That is not how he wants us. He wants us to progress. He wants us to transform. He wants us to change. Have you ever realized how easy it is to notice what somebody else needs to do, what somebody else ain't doing, whatever? But when you look in the mirror to say, okay, Shonda, you need to do this. Okay, you need to check this over here. And it's so many times that as believers and people who are in church, you so busy, you can quote some scriptures. Oh boy, you can talk about, you can read up and down all the books of the Bible. You know this scripture, you know that, your church attendance is good. You understand? You paying your tithes real good. But guess what? That inside is messed up. Your mind is messed up. You're messy. Do you understand? You are doing, listen, everybody, you looking at everybody else, you doing stuff for everybody else, you making sure everybody else is straight, but your temple is messed up. You got a whole lot of health issues. That mind is messed up. Your thinking is messed up. You listen, what you're saying out of your mouth is messed up. You all your eyes and your eyes is always looking to negative things. You're always running to your feet is always running to negative things. Listen, bro, sis, it's time out for that. It's time for you to change. You're wondering why everybody else around you is getting blessed and you is looking like your stuff is stagnant. You need to check yourself before you continue to wreck yourself. I don't care how many titles you have, the perfect attendance that you may have going to church, and you serving everything, like you serving. But your temple, but your mind, but your well-being, but your health is not lining up. And if you are following individuals, if you have leaders or people that's in your circle and in your square or whatever you want to call it, that they're elevating, but you're still in the same place, something ain't right. And that is not God. It's time to make a change. It's time for you to sit back. It's time for you to figure out what is it that you need to do. Because oftentimes it's all good. It's all good in the hood as long as those that you're around, long as those that you are following or whatever the case may be, they're growing and going. But you and you're doing what you're supposed to do as in regards to them. But when you look at where you was at last year and you ain't moved nowhere, baby, it's time to make a change. It's time for you to figure out, because one plus one ain't equaling two. Do you understand? It's time for you to make a change. It's time for you to realize what is going on in the government. It's time for you to realize that, listen, some of this stuff that you've been able to get, some of these things that you have been getting discounts on, some of this assistance that you may be getting, listen, with this current administration that's this in the government, this stuff that's going on, baby, you're not going to have it if some of these cabinet pits are in place, because they are not for us. They're going to be for the rich and the wealthy. And many people don't fall in that category. I don't care what it looks like, how it looks. Listen, the proof is in the pudding. If you don't follow what's going on with certain things, and yes, we're kingdom minded. Yes, the kingdom is supposed to listen. Other kingdoms, we're supposed to take things by force. We're supposed to know, who we are in God. But let me tell you something. Talk is cheap. Actions is more. Talk is cheap. Actions is more. And some of you are so, and I'm going to say it, lazy, that you have been conditioned to be lazy. You don't want to work. You don't want to do what you're supposed to do to make money, because you think that handouts is always going to be there, and it's not. The folks trying to take away Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP, and in education, the public education as we know it, it's going to look totally different. But in order for you to realize what is going on, in order for you to pay attention to what's going on around you and not think that, stuff just going to be the same, this, that, and the other, is you got to change your mindset. You got to get around individuals that's trying to go somewhere, that's trying to do some things, and that want to change. I don't want to be around no people that don't want to grow, that don't want to change, that think it's all about them, that the motives is as long as about them. That no, I don't want to be, I cannot. That is not my person. It's time for you to realize who you are, where you want to go, where you are, so that whatever changes you need to make, that you can make. It's time out. It's time to make a change so you won't keep making excuses. As a society, and especially, and I'm gonna tell you, as me, and I'm a Black American, I'm an African American. But listen, sometimes we can be our own worst critics, because some of you make excuses about everything. I wish I could make an excuse and instead of sit around and expect something to be just dropped in my lap. You're gonna have to do better. You're gonna have to change. Our children, which are our future, that's coming up. If the model they have, it's like some of the stuff that they're seeing from some of these adults, and you look on social media and you look at some of these government officials that they are reckless, they talk reckless, they act immature. It's just so. So if you're not your child's teacher, if you're not the one to teach, to help to teach this next generation, we are through. We are through. So it's time to make a change all the way around. And it starts with each individual. It starts with reflecting on what do I need to change. It starts with reflecting on who can I help to bring up. But listen, in order for you, let me tell you something. In order for some of the things that I dive and I got into to do and to grow, I had to invest in myself. I had to invest. An investment costs money. Some of you don't, you go and you buy all these shoes, you go and you try to keep up with the hair and go do all these other things, but to grow so that you can change, so that you can move to different levels, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that because you think something's supposed to be given to you. No, I realize, and I tell my clients all the time, when people invest in themselves, when they invest in what they're trying to do to grow, when they invest, that's when you know people are serious. Because when people spend some coins, they serious about things. But as long as you keep thinking somebody got to do for you, get for you because of this, that, and the other, somebody owe you something like an obligation, you will never grow. You will never change. That's why some of the things that we are going through and what's getting ready to happen with the trajectory of where this world is going, because you have people that's out there. I mean, you got some wicked people that their whole lifestyle is about just being wicked and cruel. And I'm talking about the believers and the non-believers, because you got some believers that's a hot mess. They don't want to change. They think, okay, well, the people they don't see, but God sees this right here. Do you understand? God sees how hateful and messy and nasty that you are. But you ain't got to change, because there will be coming a time for all of us that we got to answer to him. I ain't no judge or jury. That ain't my job. But what I can tell you is God is tired. And if we don't make the changes that are necessary to make, you won't enter no pearly gates. You won't see no type of mansion until we learn to make the changes that are necessary. So instead of us focusing on who doing what, this, that, and the other, and this person, that, and all this other stuff, we got to sweep around your house, look in the mirror, and see what you need to change. I'm telling you so clearly, it's time to make a change. Listen, and I could not be, listen, well, Lord, I'm just telling tomorrow or later, listen. And everywhere. And so even with what I'm giving and what I'm giving you guys tonight, I'm going to take inventory of some things. Okay, Shonda, this is what made you need to do. Okay, listen, it ain't, oh, well, I'm Dr. Perkins. Oh, well, I'm so this and have all of this, that. No, we all can change in some areas. We all can need to change in some areas. And that's the problem. Some of us are so prideful, so narcissistic that it's everybody else and it's not us. I just wanted to bring you that on tonight. It may be tight, but it's so right. And you need to, if you got an issue with it, you seek the Lord. Don't come inboxing me. Don't keep getting mad, whatever the case may be. This is an inventory for us all. It is time to change. Life gonna life. Things gonna happen. We're gonna go through, but I know what God says as well. And as long as you follow the instruction and be obedient and ask him, God, see me, help me to renew my mind. Lord, show me. Renew a right spirit within me, Lord. And for those of you who don't know the Lord, for those of you, whatever you may call, whoever you may serve, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But it will behoove you to get on the right side of things, because the wrong side will not lead you only but into destruction and disastrous times. So I just come by here to tell you on this Wisdom Wednesday, and anytime that he dropped, I'm trying to tell you so clear. Listen, in order for him to come heal the land that we're in, we got to do some things, okay? We got to do some things. We got to change our focus. We got to change. Listen, I'm trying to tell you what I know. Listen, I can just repeat it again. It's time to make a change. And guess what? We are the people who can do it, because we can do it. But you got to be willing to do it. And if you're not willing, then that's on you. But I'm coming to make a loud clarion call, because what he said is, it's time to make a change. The rest is on you. Thank you for joining me for Wisdom Wednesday. I hope that I've said something that has encouraged you, that has convicted you, or what. I don't want it to condemn you, because condemnation don't bring change. Conviction is from the Lord. And we all, if we know there's some things that we need to do, hey, listen, do what you need to do. It ain't gotta be no listen, it ain't gotta be an out loud thing that you gotta tell the whole world what you gotta change. Just you do it. Talk is cheap anyway. Change causes action to take place. Transformation is an action verb, a word. So all I can tell you is God bless you. Let's keep each other in prayer. I pray that you be encouraged and understand that the race is not given to the swift, but to those who endure to the end. Endurance is a process. So while you're in this process, make sure you change in it. Don't be waiting just to be waiting, but you're waiting and you're murmuring and you're doing all those other things. Don't do none of that. While you're waiting, make sure that you're changing. Make sure that you're transforming. Make sure you're asking him to prune anything that's in you or that is not of him, to take it away. Be encouraged. Have a good rest of the week, and I will see you next time on